Oh my gosh, disaster has struck the Houston Texans, getting demolished by the Chargers at home, and a quarterback is injured. The good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to break it all down here on Kicking It with Kunkel, coming out. All right. Obviously, a little bit of hyperbole there to start the show, but on a much more serious note, I have the under, I believe, at 38.5. If that dumbass fumble costs me, I'm not going to be thrilled. It's now 27-28, about to be 28-7. Chargers demolishing the Texans. What do you guys say about this? What do you guys take away from this? The good, the bad, the ugly from preseason week 1, Chargers and Texans. Texans certainly going to lose. They're not going to open it up. That extra point telling me it was no good. It was no good. That's huge. That's great. That's excellent news. If you guys are watching on X, which is where we get a huge viewership, I appreciate that, and I love that about y'all. However, come on over to YouTube, hang out. It's better for you. It's better for me. It's better for everybody. It just makes the world a little bit better of a place. But this is Kicking It with Kunkel. Do me a favor. Subscribe to Kicking It with Kunkel on YouTube. Make sure your alerts are lit and you get those pushes. Make sure you become a VIP member as well. Hit up the super chat on YouTube. I want to know your thoughts from tonight's game, and make sure you like the video on YouTube as well. And in case you want some of the lids that I got, I'll show you a couple ones if you guys ask nicely. It's Decker Hat Company, promo code KUNK, get you a little bit of a discount. We are on Facebook as well. I want to make sure I share this to all the Texans pages that I belong to. Let the word out, let the people know what time it is. Overall, offense struggling, doesn't look great. I thought the first drive was good. I don't know how much to take away from it. The problem is we're doing this again, where we have plenty of excuses built in with the offense not looking good. But why does the Chargers offense have the ability to move the ball? Why does the Chargers offense have the ability to score the ball? I believe the Texans got in the red zone twice. I gotta pull that up once I finish sharing this on Facebook. But again, guys, get involved. I want to know what you guys think about tonight's game because, man, Kane says it's bad. McDaniels is too much for Kaylee, but it's preseason. Let's go Texans. Thanks, Kunkel, for the live. Yo, I got you first of all, forever and always. We got a big time announcement coming, by the way, of ESPN 97.5 here in Houston soon. And if you guys haven't been seeing or hearing, I should say, I'm filling in on ESPN Radio nationally as well. Actually, DJ Bieneme and I will be on Sunday night, 9 p.m. to midnight on ESPN Sirius XM Channel 80, on the ESPN app or ESPNradio.com as well. McDaniel too much. McDaniel too much for Kaylee doesn't really match up because both are offensive guys. It's not like they're going toe-to-toe or head-to-head. I'm a little surprised that the Texans' defense, I know there's no starters, isn't playing a little bit better, only because they always bring that swarm mentality, so that swarm mentality not really carrying over late here. I know this last touchdown was due to was fed in part because of a turnover by the Texans. We got 10 minutes left, 27-7, Chargers lead. Not a great showing for the offense overall. I think Keelan Rutledge looked fine. The offensive line moved bodies on that first drive. I think there was a sweep. I got to go to some of my notes. Let's see. There was a toss to Noah Whittingham where they got good movement from the line on that first drive. I really liked the jet sweep / end around creative handoff to Xavier Hutchinson. I thought that was a good play. Nick Caley's been able to dial up a nice creative play from time to time. His inability he hasn't been able to do it enough, especially when they need it the most. That pass from Davis Mills to Marlon Klein is obviously the highlight of the game. I think that or the Jared Wade touchdown. I think it's probably the pass to Marlon Klein over the middle. Just a really, really nice touch pass by Davis Mills. Quarterback controversy? If I have any of you people in here, I'll handle you as you should be handled. I will allow you to stay because I appreciate you, but I will unmercifully unleash on you because that's a ridiculous thing to think. Oh, I can't get into my stat page because I'm using my phone as my camera. I need the Google Authenticator to get in. Heavens to Betsy. That's all right. I'll use ESPN.com tonight. How about a lot of starters around the league starting and playing tonight? Joe Burrow, Jacoby Brissett, Fernando Mendoza, Drew Aller looked good for. See with the Steelers. I was looking at his stat line. Anthony Richardson played and threw an interception on his first pass. Not the starter, but you get the idea. A lot of guys getting some burn. The Texans not starting their main or any offensive weapons. No Nico, no CJ, no Jalen, no Joel, or Jaden, Jalen, no Montgomery, no Woody, CJ said, Nico, Dalton. I don't know Brevin Jordan that I took note of. Defensively, they started absolutely no starters, played no starters whatsoever, which I am completely fine with. I wish they played some starters on offense. I'll be honest. I really wish they did because I just think they need more time. I think they need as much time as humanly possible together. And I know that it's scary. I know that you risk getting hurt, but what's the point of being completely healthy if you can't score? Because what can happen is what happened last season. You can't lose the first 3 games of the year because of your offense. You put your defense in a situation where they have to be perfect, which is you can't do that. This offense has to carry its weight this year. They have to score 24 points a game. They have to. If they don't score 24 points, and I don't mean like where they put up, 70 in 2 games like they did last year. They had a good game against the Titans in the fourth quarter. Excuse me. They did not have a good game against the Titans. They had a good fourth quarter. And then, was it the Jaguars that they had a bunch of points? They had back-to-back games where they put up points, but that was like probably the Ravens. It was the Ravens. They scored 44. So yeah, they scored 70 points in 2 games. That's the outlier. I always kind of like remove those when I do at least the Ravens game because it was the outlier of the season. But they've got to be able to carry their weight this season. If they can't carry their weight this season, my biggest worry, and I'll talk about this more as the season approaches, is if this offense doesn't work, if Nick Caley is unable to get things going, what do they do? What do they do? They scored 23.8 points last year, but I would say it was probably closer to 19 or 20, honestly, if you take a true look at how they scored points and who they did it against and when, etc. And that was good for I don't know, this isn't ranked, but bottom half, not by a lot, but bottom half. The number 1 scoring offense was 30 points a game with the Rams. So, there's not a huge gap, but that gap at the bottom, the Raiders, 14 points a game. Holy crap. That sucks. Some more comments. What happened to Thursday? Graham Mertz got hurt. It looked like a knee injury. So Davis Mills playing really not a great situation for the Texans to have Davis Mills play this whole game because Davis Mills is a huge part of this team. He will play this season. CJ will get dinged up and hurt at least at some point. I mean, it happens all over the NFL. You hope it doesn't, but the backup quarterback is so important, which we saw last year when they went on that 3-game winning streak because Davis Mills was able to keep his head above water as well as the team's, pun intended, with the long neck. The Klein play, yeah, Christopher. Oh, it's creative, Kush. What up, man? Good to see you in here, brother. Yeah, the Klein play to stretch the field vertically that way. John Harris said that Dalton Schultz doesn't do much of that. And maybe he doesn't do much of it, but I feel like he does it more than he kind of alluded to in regards to running that seam route down the middle of the field. Maybe not. I know he does. He certainly does a lot of horizontal routes. But nonetheless, a great play by Marlon Klein. An easy play for him. It was the pass from Davis Mills that was just absolutely perfect. I love seeing the play dialed up in general, and it worked. The backup line is bad and struggling. Yeah, I'm worried about the starting offensive line at this point, let alone the guys that can't even beat the starters out. I think Keelan Rutledge looked to have a good first game with the Texans, but I just watching this offensive line in training camp, I don't see this offensive line being anywhere where they need to be, honestly, because they are getting dominated. And I know it's Will Anderson and Neil Hunter and now Jadeveon Clowney and the Texans swarm defense. I get all that, but I'm pretty sure they both play in the same league. They play on the same day on the same field in the same situation, right? Like it's the same. So you have to be able to go up and at least be reputable against the defense that's also in the same league. I don't get it. But okay, they continue to wreck practice. What happens when you go up against good defenses in the NFL? Because the Texans were the number 2 defense in the NFL. Seahawks were number 1 because the Texans gave up some crap touchdown against the Colts in the final game of the season that gave the Seahawks the crown. So what up, Fabro Rodriguez? Appreciate y'all. If you guys are watching, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to my channel, turn your alerts on. Turn the alerts on to subscribe so that when I go live, you know, your wife knows, your family knows, your kids know, everybody you love knows, and they can all dial in because they're like, oh my God, Kunkel's going live on Kickin with Kunkel. You got to be kidding me. That's awesome. So subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Hit up that super chat. You know what I'm saying? Skip that line. Let's go. Like the video. This is still my motto. 3 years in. For the actually, it's really for the last, it was last year and the year before. So this is the 3rd year. I did not use this motto the year prior, CJ's rookie year, because that was like a stunning, like, holy crap, this offense is good. And by the way, if you like the hat, Decker Hat Company, promo code KUNK, get you a little discount. So join us on YouTube if you're watching everywhere else. Let's see. Yeah, we got good numbers over on X. Come on over. And Facebook. Great guys. Come on over to YouTube. Come on. Graham Mertz got hurt, though. We don't have a report on what it was. Not good to have Davis Mills have to play. Graham Mertz, fine. Do I think they're going to go out and get another quarterback? They're going to have to. Although, well, they're going to have to because they're going to want a 3rd quarterback. So even when CJ does play, they're still going to want a 3rd quarterback. So yeah, they'll go out and do something. I'm trying to think, have they had guys in recent years that they would, because usually what happens in these situations is they'll just bring someone in they have familiarity with. Like the Panthers for years always brought in PJ Walker or Will Greer, you know, whoever. I'm trying to think who the Texans have brought in at quarterback. Slovis. Was it Kyle? What's his first name? Caden? Something with K, isn't it? Case Keenum, someone just said. Where's Slovis? Keaton Slovis. Let's see. Keaton Slovis. Oh, he's with the Cardinals, so he probably won't be brought back. He's taken. Although he's not going to make the team there. That's interesting. He's the 4th guy there. You got Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Minshew, Carson Beck, and Keaton. Keaton, I mean, he might be able, if they knock on Slovis's door, maybe he comes back. Because Beck looked really good. And is that the Hall of Fame game? Oh, who did the Panthers play? Was it the Cardinals? Yeah, it was, because Larry Fitzgerald. Carson Beck looked good in that game. Jacoby Brissett started tonight, and Gardner Minshew played a lot. All 3 of those guys are going to make the team. Keaton Slovis obviously will not. So maybe they kick the tires on him again. Kunkel, it does worry me that no big runs by the backs. Does Kaylee just not want to open it up a bit of this regular season game playbook and the defense getting tortured along with the O-line? There were some good runs in the first drive. Not enough. But don't have faith in this offensive line on the backups and the third strings. Because do you have faith in the starters? I don't have faith in the starters yet. It's the best they have. Obviously, it's their first string. I don't have faith that this offensive line is going to be good enough this season to make the Texans go where they want to go. They want to win the Super Bowl. The offensive line has to be pretty good. And I don't think they're going to be pretty good for that to happen. And no, I don't think it has anything to do with it being preseason or with Nick Caley holding back, because that ship has sailed. And we see teams have success. We see teams have explosive plays. We see teams that can move bodies and make things happen offensively. The Texans are not one of those teams. They are not ever one of those teams, and that's what's so frustrating. It's just more of the same. Whether it's Nick Caley or the offensive line, quarterback play, or it's guys on the outside, the playmakers, I don't know. We can have that discussion forever. I think it's Nick Caley. I'm not a Nick Caley guy. I don't think he was the right hire for the job. I hope he turns it around, and I hope they're awesome, and I hope he wins coordinator of the century. Like, I truly, obviously hope that. I just don't see it happening. What is anybody seeing that says that's going to happen? And I think this Texans team is ripe to be really, really good throughout the regular season. They're going to be in almost every game because of the defense, but they're not going to win a lot of games that they should win because of the offense. And I think CJ Stroud is a good quarterback. I'm a believer in CJ, bro. I truly am. You don't just become not good. Was that the sweep, the jet sweep again, which is fine. You still are running a limited offensive playbook, but had success on it again. This time to Sanders, 14. CJ didn't just become not good. The offensive line stinks. Nick Caley stinks, and so be it. CJ Stroud, you can't defend the playoffs. That is not what I talk about when I talk about CJ Stroud. You can't defend his decision-making in the playoffs. If he takes care of the ball, they probably win that game. But remember, there was Joe No Mixon for the entire season. There was no Nico Collins in that game. There was no Trent Brown in that game. There was no Dalton Schultz, who got injured early in that game. So there were a lot of excuses. There were a lot of reasons as to why it was so bad. But, whatever. What do you mean, where's Paulie G, Favreau? Who the hell cares who that son of a gun is? That bum, that stinky man. He doesn't shower. Paul Gallant is on a showerless streak the last 3 months. Ask him. Tell him I sent you. Ask him. True story. All right, we're 27-7. Fourth quarter, 4 minutes, 27 seconds left. Texans about to punt. They got to figure out that punting situation, by the way. And it's an extremely important position for them to figure out because of their offense and the fact that see, I told you, Fabro, he doesn't shower. He stinks. And he looks greasy. I think he's almost hit the 3-month mark to not shower. It's impressive. Impressive. You guys make any bets coming in this season? Any futures bets? I took Super Bowl, Texans to win the Super Bowl, plus 1,900. Like, why wouldn't you? Plus 1,900? It's crazy. I'm very excited to see the new jerseys as well. Very excited. I saw someone post something that presumably wasn't them. It had those tiles along the pants, like where the address goes on the curb in Houston historically. They looked awesome. I don't think they were real, but they looked awesome. Who are starting defense better not get injured with this backup defense? What? Brendan, try that again. Who our starting defense better not get injured with this backup defense? It still doesn't make sense to me. I'm going to work on it, though. Brendan, you and I are going to work through this. You're going to keep typing. I'm going to keep reading. And I'm going to read this hieroglyphics and try to figure it out. A little bit of Chinese to me. Our starting defense better not get injured with this backup defense. What backup defense? How can your starting defense get hurt with your backup defense? Starting defense didn't play. at all. Nor should they have. I don't need to see anything from the starting defense. I'm good. I know exactly what this defense can bring. I think they need to play one series in the preseason, get that pop, get that feel, and get it out. Like I remember talking to Luke Kuechly, now Hall of Famer, one of the greatest linebackers this generation has ever seen. And a lot of people will not recognize that because they didn't watch him play because he played with the Panthers. He was awesome, like absolutely awesome. He knew he wasn't just smart. He wasn't first guy in, last guy out. He just wasn't just heady or worked hard, lunch pail guy, because he's white. He was fast as hell. He was physical as hell. He was talented as hell. He was awesome in every single aspect of the game. And I believe he only played 8 seasons. It was because of his head trauma. He had to bow out and call it a career, unfortunately. It was really sad when it happened. I was in Carolina covering the Panthers. That guy was so freaking good. Our starting defense better stay healthy, says Brendan. Nailed it. I agree. They'll play one series, at least in the preseason. But that's also my fear this season is just the health of the defense. And only because, luck of the draw, they suffered really no serious injuries last season on defense. I believe Kamara missed 1 game that was precautionary. Jalen Petrie missed maybe 2 games. And I believe Will and Daniil played all games. Sting played all, maybe missed 1, but like they didn't miss any significant time to where they had to overcome it. Luck of the draw, knock on wood, is that that's not going to happen again. And the problem is the Texans, they almost had a sack. Oh my gosh. Oh, ball's out. Texans recovered, fumble. Wow, that's huge. Texas defense swarming, making plays, forcing turnovers. Man, a lot of guys aren't going to make this team, but a lot of guys got to put stuff on tape, and they're doing that tonight. You want to make plays to where somebody somewhere else remembers your name. And 81 for the Chargers did not do that in a positive way. Carrington, 17 for the Texans, punching that out from behind, that peanut punch. John Harris, peanut punch. Codrington, is that who it was? I thought it was like Carrington. Whoever, whatever, with all due respect to the family. Will CJ play next preseason game? I wonder. I think, yes, next game is what usually when D'Amico will play his starters. I think they need to play a half. I don't care how long they play. I just need to see them play long enough. I'm not worried about me, but like D'Amico and Nick Caley and Nick Caserio, they need to see their offense play long enough to say, hey, we're going to hit the ground running this year, because that's the important part for this team. They have to hit the ground running. Some other notes that I had in the game, Stephen Hall, number 41, had good coverage on 3rd and 10 in the red zone, forced a field goal on their first offensive drive of the game. Noah Whittington had a nice cut back in the second quarter, a little bit of a counter veer play where he's running right, plants his right foot, cuts back left, found himself a running lane. And I believe it was Graham Mertz with the QB slide, awkward, bad QB slide. I hate the QB slide. I think the league should get rid of the QB slide. John Harris actually mentioned this tonight on the broadcast. He agrees, but he doesn't know what to replace it with. I think you just replace it with football, because you can. The problem with the slide is quarterbacks don't know how to do it properly. So what happens is they also do it late. They try to squeeze out yards, and what happens is you slide late and you leave your whole body exposed. Like your head's up and your chest is exposed because you're sliding like this so many times, like feet first, chest up, versus kind of that tuck and roll that you're maybe supposed to do. I don't really know the best way to do it. I mean, as a baseball guy, you kind of, you're kind of just sliding like that, and it's bad. And you just leave yourself exposed, and when you're doing it last second, you're bound to get smoked, which is exactly what happened to Trevor Lawrence and Azeez Al-Shaair. I defend that play forever. I will forever defend that play on Aziz's side. I do not think it was a dirty play. I don't think it was an intentional play in regards to he thought he was sliding and he was going to hit him anyway. It's not the way Azeez rolls in that manner. and he just plays on the edge. I don't need to get into all that. CJ likely plays a quarter. Yeah, I don't know what he has. I wanted to ask D'Amico, and if I get to training camp again next week, I want to ask D'Amico if he intends on treating the preseason a little bit differently this year because of what did happen last year in that slow start and the fact that your offense wasn't ready to roll going into the season. Do you play a little bit more aggressively? Because there's certainly other teams in the NFL that play more snaps than the Texans did last year with their starters. Again, not defensively. I don't need to see anybody on defense play more than a series or a quarter, whatever they want to do to be comfortable. Protect them at all costs because you're not going anywhere without this defense. So they need to be 100% healthy for as long as possible. Remember, you guys want to do this again? Subscribe. Hit the super chat. Like. And promo code KUNK if you like the hats. You want to see the other hats? They're pretty dope. This one is sick, obviously. America. Super sick details with the DHC on the side. The flag, established 1776. And then underneath, it says America 250 and then land of the free and home of the brave on the inside. It's a pretty sick hat. Great fits, great quality. I think he's got some Texas ones, as well as some other ones like this. I have no affiliation with Sam Houston Rugby Club. I just like the hat because I like the little guy on the side. As you can see, it's kind of cool. Man, my camera is just sharp. My hat's stuck. Come rodeo season, or really ever. And you know what? This one is definitely my favorite new one. I have a red one like this too. These are performance hats. And if you don't like the rope, they actually come out. So you can take the rope off. So it would look like that. I like the rope because I think it just adds another layer of, whatever. So, offense still looks like trash, says Ricardo. Ricardo, I could not agree more. Even though it's the preseason, I don't care about that anymore. I truly do not care that it's the preseason anymore. You still have to be able to move bodies. You still got to be able to have some explosives from time to time. The issue is they have problems doing that with their starters, let alone the guys behind them. I was not. Were you guys expecting the offense to be what tonight? I wasn't expecting anything because I've been at training camp. Not every day, but 3-4 times a week. And the under hits. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else place any bets on this game? Let's go, baby. Gotta let the boys know. Easy money. I believe I did this last year with the Texans. Every preseason game, I would take them because the offense stinks. And even though they're playing their backups defensively, they still play with that mentality of get after you. So they swarm. I think Montgomery, I think the starters in general, I think everybody's going to play sometime during the preseason. You got to get the full unit out there. You have to, in my opinion. What's going to happen, I don't know. We'll all find out together. But I think that's what's going to happen. You can't just not start. You can't just not play your starters with this offense. There's no room for that. Like, this team's not good enough to not start your starters in the preseason for at least a period of time. They got to get on the same page. They got to figure some things out. They got to go see it as a unit. So, yeah, I think they do. I think they all do. You guys think? Like the hair? Thanks. Man. See around the league. Titans winning 13-7 against the 49ers. Talk about an offense I'm not worried about. Definitely not worried about the 49ers. Mike Evans. Ooh, my buddy had the over Cardinals Raiders game 41.5. He got hooked. 41. Bummer, dude. Overall, like tonight was not good for the Texans offensively. Overall, I think the scheme still struggles, the play calling still struggles, and all the backups struggle to do things well outside of Davis Mills. He's a serviceable backup for sure. If you guys haven't seen my interview, by the way, with Blake Fisher, Naquan Jones, and who was the last one I had? Reed Blankenship on my channel on YouTube, Kicking It with Kunkel. You got to go check it out. Like elite conversations. I mean, you just got to go check them out. They're awesome. Get to know those guys. Super fun and interesting. Let's see what else we got in the comments. Texans versus Raiders is the only NFL game nationwide in that time slot next week. I don't think that has anything to do with anyone playing. Offense still looks like trash. Yeah, no, I agree. Not a good night for the Texans offense, I don't believe. It's just still same issues year to year. Same issues as they had last year. Struggle moving bodies, struggle hitting holes and making plays. They don't scheme guys open either. Not that you're going to see the most elaborate route trees in preseason. Just don't like it. Anyway, that's where I stand. Seems like you guys agree. Amanda, it's preseason. They're testing everyone and not putting their first line in. The first line did play for the offensive line, that is. No one on defense played starter-wise. And I understand it's preseason. You still got to be able to execute at a higher level. They got Panthers next week? Yeah, they got Panthers. They got joint practices. Joint practices are always interesting. They get a little tested. They get a little fun. They get a little competitive. And coaches get to scheme up exactly what they want to practice against the other team. So they'll put their teams in situations that they really want to see them improve on. You can't really get to do that in games because the game flow is going to dictate what you see and don't see, and you don't really get to see a lot of things throughout a game. You know, you may not get in the red zone. You may not have the other team get in the red zone. You may not be able to work on that 2-minute drill that you want to work on. You can do 2-minute drill 10 times in a joint practice if you wanted to. You can work on red zone for an hour and a half if you want to in a joint practice. You can do whatever you want in a joint practice, which is why a lot of coaches and a lot of teams really like the joint practices much more than the preseason games. I still think there's value in the preseason games. They're not fun. I wish we'd get rid of them for my sake and entertainment value, but it still helps teams and GMs see what they got, get out there and play an actual game to help their team and build that roster. Although these rosters are really, I mean, there might be 2-3 guys to make a team and like steal a spot. The rosters are really all but built going into training camp these days. Very rarely do you see anything more than like 3 unknowns make a team. Darren, our backups suck. Yeah, like especially in offense, they do suck. They're not good. It hasn't been good up front in the starting line. The Chargers offense looking this good under Mike McDaniel in year 1 could put some real pressure on Nick Caley. I have said on ESPN radio that I believe that Nick Caley is on the hot seat. He's not going to get talked about that way because it's the Texans and because he's an offensive coordinator. But my problem is they didn't bring anybody in to relieve. If they relieve Nick Caley, they don't have anybody to help him out to become better and or to become their offensive coordinator. I don't know who it would be. And everyone always wanted to say Bill Lazor. Well, he's now a defensive coach. Oh, Raiders are here first. You're right, Miss Green. You is right. Just because you corrected me and I was wrong, you get on the show, even though it's not a super chat. You're right. I'm wrong. I'm a big man. I can admit it. Backup's not so good, says Texas Vet. Yeah. Agree. Wait, Texas Vet, I believe you've been here before. You used to be a member. I see that you're not anymore. Maybe you weren't. I'm not sure. No one should be on that Davis Mills train. Not over CJ. Davis Mills is a very nice backup. That is a bit. All right, Texas Vet. Get back on. Season's back. Let's go. Become members, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. I appreciate you. What'd you see, Brandon? What good things did you see? I want to know what good things you saw. Are they in the room with us now? Are they here? Do you see the good things? Do you see the good things here? Are they in your place? Because I saw a few. I saw a few good things. So I thought the starting offensive line had a good opening drive. They had that nice play call with the jet sweep / like end around play. It was creative to Xavier Hutchinson. Davis Mills, gorgeous pass to Marlon Klein. The toss to Noah Whittingham. Good movement from the offensive line. They moved as one unit, which I really liked, and got pushed while they did it. So they went east to west, but then also went north to get some running room for Whittington. Justin Watson, he ran his route short. I believe it was third down. And they completed the ball from Davis Mills, but he was a yard short of the marker. So either Davis Mills threw that half a second late, or the route wasn't where it was supposed to be. The Davis Mills to Jared Wayne touchdown, well executed. Not like a great play, not a bad play call because it's a touchdown, but it wasn't like a great design play. It was just throw it up there. Jared Wayne, big body, nice catch. Good for him. Klamis is back. There he is, baby. He's a member. He's VIP. He skips the line and gets on screen. Let's go. Come on, baby. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good evening, sir. That was a rather awful game. I didn't read it before it popped up. The only good news is that game provided plenty of coaching moments. Who's going to coach the coaches, though? Who's going to coach Nick Caley? That's my question. That's my biggest issue. A lot of guys need to work on their hands on the defensive side. There were a lot of interceptions that were dropped tonight. At one point, I counted at least 4. At least 4 drop passes. Klamis gifted a membership. I can't tell who that's a gift to. I don't know. Did someone claim that? I don't know how that works, but that's dope of you. Brandon, sorry you're not a VIP. You didn't super chat. You don't get on screen, but I will say you said a nice Klein catch. I concur wholeheartedly. Bills have never beaten us at home. That's true. And that is also what makes me nervous because you know how it goes. It's not like you're going to shut down Josh Allen forever. They do add DJ Moore this year, so they're a little bit better on that side of the Texas Vet. I couldn't find a DM from you anywhere with your address. I couldn't find it anywhere. I looked for months, forever. I don't know what to tell you. Find me on X, type in Kunkel or Instagram. I mean, I'm everywhere. Anyway. Kamari Ramsey already has more NTs than the entire Jets. That is actually true. Brandon, you are correct. It looks like you got gifted the membership. How sick is that? That is very true. And Ramsey's a good player. He goes out there and makes plays. Thanks, Clemens, said Brandon. That's what's up. Yeah, Texas Vet, I will get you that. I promise you, I will never, ever say I'm going to do something and not do it. I couldn't find, and I remember we talked about this the week after you said you were going to send it to me. So I don't know. The membership is typically gifted to the first person in the chat after the gift membership is announced. It went to Brandon Holman, 81. Indeed it did. How about them apples? Now, Brandon, here's your duty. You need to renew that if there's an expiration on it, which I'm sure there is, like probably a month. You need to renew it. You need to do your part. That's the thank you that you give Klamis, and the thank you that I give you for your greatness. Subscribe. Kickin with Kunkel. Hit the super chat. Like the video. Texans offense must suck last. It really does. And it's not. I'm more worried about this Texans offense going into this season than I was last season, because last season was Nick Haley's first year and we didn't know what to expect. And I thought we saw enough against the Panthers offense to say, hey, or the Panthers defense, to say, hey, all right, Texans look good. I actually said, I believe I said I saw enough. I'm good. We can move on, rest the guys, and hit the ground running. They definitely hit the ground. It wasn't running. What do y'all think about these flock cameras? Talk about no way, dude. Get out of here. I've never seen so much uproar by everybody. Texas vet, she's in, baby. She's in. She's in. Let's go. Shout out and welcome. Patty, if you were a member, your comment would be on the screen right now and we could talk about it. Or if you did the super chat. I will mention it, though, because I love conversation. I love going back and forth. Nick Haley sucks, says Patty Barnett. JS. Just saying. Yeah, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I have nothing against Nick Haley. I think he might be able to be a good coordinator one day. I don't think this system fits these players. I don't like the splits of the wide receivers. Now, I have seen what seems like some wider splits this season compared to last year, but I don't like the splits only because you're a downhill physical running team that's at least what you want to be. Just because you say you're something and identify as something doesn't actually make you that, because they are not able to run downhill physically consistently. That's not their true identity. Their true identity, they don't have one. So Claimant says, how about just sucking less at critical moments? The problem is those critical moments are so few and far in between that the odds of them not sucking are rare. It's not like you get 15 of them a game and, you succeed at 7. Okay. They have like 2 or 3 red zone moments a game and they're going to fail. That's the problem. So I didn't like the Nick Haley hire because this offense, they needed to win now. They needed an offensive coordinator that had been there, had done that, and knew what to do in situations when they weren't able to have success. So I don't know what they're going to try to be this year. I mean, I know they're going to try to be that downhill running team, and I think they're going to be better at it than they were last year, to be fair. But I mean nominally, like incrementally, just minorly. They're not going to be a good downhill running team. I don't think they have the physical, I think they have the desire to do it in the offensive line, but I don't think they have the ability to do it. And then if they can't run the ball, what happens when they got to pass? What happens when it's 3rd and 9 multiple times on a drive? What happens if the run game's taken away because the defense is all stacked in? And the reason I don't like the splits is because the defense isn't forced to spread out. The defense isn't forced to think. Like, all right, they want to run, but the wide receivers are out here. So therefore, we're spread out a little bit, and we got to think a little bit more, and we got to kind of have our eyes in multiple places. Whereas the receivers are in tight, everything's kind of near you. You don't need to be spread out. You're not all over the place. So I don't like that. The passing game is supposed to get the safeties out of the box, supposed to get the corners on the outside, and then you can run a little bit if you have a threat from the passing game. But let's just say you do have a threat from the passing game and you still want to be a running team, if your splits are super tight to the line, then you're not actually spreading anybody out. So you're just from the jump on the line of scrimmage, you don't have the defense where I would think you would want them, which is spread out if you want to run the ball down the middle. That's just my thought. I don't know what you guys think. How about just a D'Amico offense is a downhill running offense? And you know why it is, though? Because they can't do anything else. And that's the easiest thing to be able to do when you have a strong defense, is to control the clock, control the ball, control the field, the time of possession, and run the ball and just milk it, and then rely on your defense and hit them passes when you need to. Like, you don't need to be an explosive offense. That's what he's going for because – and I don't think it's a CJ thing. I really honestly do not, because he doesn't have time to drop back and throw the ball all over the place. This offense isn't built for that. So you're not going to see it. So the D'Amico offense is a downhill running offense because they don't have the ability to do anything else. And Nick Caley doesn't have the ability to scheme up plays and get guys open when a quarterback doesn't have time. One, but I don't think he does it anyway. Would a pure West Coast offense be better for this team or more of a QBX zone scheme? I think a pure West Coast offense. I think the zone scheme just did not. I don't know. What do you think, Clamus? They tried the zone scheme. They had to get out of it. So that's why I say that. I think they need to try to spread teams out as much as possible, even though it's not really what their DNA is. But I think that allows you, once you spread the defense out, because I think CJ likes that, first of all. But once you spread the defense out, I think you're going to be able to hit those runs a little bit more often. Souza says, glad we have David Montgomery this year. Hopefully a big boost this year. Yeah, I do think having David Montgomery is a very good upgrade over Woody Marks. Woody Marks, being a rookie last year, really had to grow up quickly because of whatever the hell happened to Joe Mixon. And being a downhill physical running back in the NFL as a rookie, when you're not really a downhill physical running back in general, not that he can't do it now, he'll be better at it because he got bigger, faster, stronger in the offseason. That's a tough ask of Woody Marks. So David Montgomery fits this offense very well. So I do like that. I still think they missed Joe Mixon's mentality more than anything last year. Yes, they missed him on the field. Probably missed that more, to be fair, obviously. But his mentality, his dog mentality, was really missed last year. Paper scheme says they're going 13-4. I don't think that's impossible. They're going to be in every single game. The defense is amazing. And they're not playing a first place schedule this year. It's not an easy schedule, but I think 13-4 is reasonable. If they don't, I'm not going to be shocked because 13 is a lot of wins. I would prefer the West Coast offense simply because it does force more spread and less of a high end. Yeah, I agree. Quick releases, get the ball out. Yeah, I don't think this offensive line can execute the zone blocking properly. I like the short, quick, that horizontal passing game for this team. I still think, even though when there's too deep, I think you still need to be able to take the top off, at least from time to time, which Nico has the ability to do it when he's on the field. You just got to call it and scheme around it and set it up. And that has to do with running the ball well. It's boring, guys, but coach speak of complementary football. Not only is it complementary football with special teams, offense, defense, but it's complementary football with being able to stop the run, stop the pass, in coverage and get after the passer. It's complementary football in running the ball, passing the ball on offense, all of it. Football is such a beautiful sport in that way that, unlike basketball, one guy can go out there and win you a game. In football, no guy's going to go out there and win you a game without everybody else doing their job at a very high level. No wide receiver is going to go for 285 and 3 touchdowns if the offensive line doesn't do their job, if the quarterback doesn't do their job, if the other wide receivers don't do their job in order for that route tree to work successfully, that consistently. Obviously, there are guys that go out there and just make plays and have that ability. There's a handful of them across the NFL, but still, they need help. Everyone needs help in the NFL to be successful. You don't get interceptions if the defensive line doesn't pressure the quarterback, and you don't get sacks if the coverage isn't good on the back end. All that. Linebackers don't rack up 110 tackles a season if the defensive tackles aren't able to take on double teams and take on formerly known as the fullback and the lead blocker in order for that linebacker to be freed up and make tackles in the gap. So That's what worries me about the Texans because they don't have it. Nico's their best offensive weapon, and he's not Jamar Chase. He's not Justin Jefferson. So, they need to figure out how they're going to go about this, and I don't think they're going to. All those coaches who became available after the playoffs last season, the Texans didn't interview a single one, says Patty Barnett. The problem with the Nick Caley situation is that if you bring in another offensive coordinator, so I understand why you keep Nick Caley. One, they clearly believe in him. I'm not of that camp. But the pro of keeping Nick Caley is that you don't bring in another offensive coordinator, installing another offense. So that would be 3 offensive coordinators for CJ Stroud in 3 years and for this offense. That is not ideal. You really do want to avoid that. So if you want to keep Nick Caley, fine, I'll get on board. My issue is not bringing anybody in to help him. Doug Peterson, I don't know where he is, if he's somewhere. Frank Reich got back in the game. I don't love him as an offensive mind after what happened in Carolina, but I do think as a helper, he can be good. Not the main guy, as a helper for sure. He's an offensive coordinator now with the oh my God, is it with the Jets? I think it might be the Jets, which we got smoked tonight because none of the starters were not. Guys, let's work on the English. We got smoked tonight because none of the starters were not playing. It's not the way that goes. We got smoked tonight because none of the starters were playing, but the Chargers found a way to score on us with no starters. LOL. Mark, spot on, man. That's what I was saying earlier. We are done playing this game of, we don't have any starters. It's preseason. It's a bland playbook. I get it. Other teams score. Let's look around the league tonight, y'all. Tell me who you're worried about. Are you worried about the Texans offense scoring 7? Yes. Are you worried about the 49ers? They have 10 points right now in the third quarter. No. Tennessee's got 16 points. Colts and Patriots, they tied tonight, 13 points apiece. I would be worried about the Colts. I still think they're better offensively than the Texans are because they have Jonathan Taylor and they run the ball very, very well. Patriots, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year, but I'm not worried about the offense in its entirety. You have A.J. Brown. I wonder if A.J. Brown's as much of a problem as people think because of it was in Philly, Jalen Hurts, etc. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. See how it happens this year. Drake May, I'm not worried about that offense. Raiders, they scored 14 points. I'm worried about that offense because they're not going to be very good, but still had 14. Cardinals had 27 points. They have weapons. Now, a lot of these guys did play their starters, to be fair. Gardner Minshew played. He's been a starter in the league. Keen Slovis played quite a bit. He went 7 for 9 for 75 yards. Former Texan Jacoby Brissett, 5 for 5, 44 yards. Fernando Mendoza, 10 of 16, 97 yards. Kirk Cousins, 5 for 6, 50 yards. Each guy throwing a touchdown. Jeremiah Love got 11 carries tonight. Holy smokes. Are you serious? That's crazy. Whoa, that's a lot of carries for a preseason game. Hold on. And that's a lot of carries for your best player offensively, probably. Oh my gosh. Let's see. I mean, maybe not your best. I mean, you're obviously your tight end. What's his name? I mean, look at Arizona had 26 catches tonight. 26. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 guys catch passes. Wow. The Texans had 13 catches. Noah Winnington had 13 carries. That's your third string running back. I think that's the way you manage it if you're the Texans. I don't need to see David Montgomery get 11 carries in a preseason game. But I do need to see Woody Marks get more, and I need to see the offense out there. Wow. And the Texans only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys catch a pass. I don't know, man. You can look all over this league and see how teams are having success. Meanwhile, the Texans can't do it offensively. Who scored? Wow. Pittsburgh had 28 points tonight. Who did they play? I mean, they played Green Bay, but Drew Aller, 10 of 13, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mason Rudolph. See, this is the thing. Offenses are built to have success no matter who's playing in them because you're usually going up against a similar competition. So Drew Aller, rookie, is going to go up against lesser competition than the starters on Green Bay's defense. So you still should be able to have some success. Not for the Texans, though. Pittsburgh caught 27 passes. Packers had 19. They only scored 9 points. Kyle McCord was their leading quarterback thrower guyer. Jordan Love threw 5 passes, 3 of 5, 18 yards. Who's playing for the Curtis Rourke and Adrian Martinez are the quarterbacks for the 49ers. Cam Ward goes 5 of 12, 57 yards tonight. Mitchell Trubisky, Will Levis, 1 of 5 so far. Will Levis, the Mayo boy, still in the league. I did not know that. Mark Young says Mills didn't look good tonight. I'm gonna hold back on the criticism of Davis Mills, although I don't necessarily disagree. Only because I'm not saying he shouldn't be ready to go back in, but in the preseason, when you're done, you're done. You kind of take the pads off, you mentally check out. And then when Graham Mertz got hurt, Davis Mills had to go in and play the entire second half. It was a third-string offensive line. He's told, do not take a hit. Do not take a sack. Get rid of the ball. Run away. This is not worth it. Be as smart as humanly possible. So I'm not sweating about that. Clamus confirms my belief. Yes, Reich is the New York Jet OC. Derek says he didn't learn anything tonight from the game. Obviously, he's learning a lot right now. Class is in session. Modern NFL preseason is such a waste of time. Is it, Derek? Is it for everybody else, though? Because I see a lot of success all over the league, except for the Texans offense year after year. You should have signed Mike McDaniel, who just scored 27 points on the third stringers. There's no doubt. I thought that's who they should have gone after, unless he and D'Amico, for whatever reason, don't get along. I don't have any reason to believe that. I'm just saying, because they were with each other in San Francisco. Excuse me, pardon moi. Jason Wagner says, can't confirm, senor, but Kaylee is probably in Easter week. That's not the case. I agree with you, though. We missed out on McDaniels, says Senor Larry. I'm super excited for this Texans season. I am also very leery of this offense. I became more leery last week into this week via training camp, and I became more leery tonight. I don't see it, man. I really hope, and it's on Nick Caley's side. I don't see how he's gonna. Whatever. The starters didn't play, so I shouldn't have that strong of a feeling about it, right? That's reasonable to say I shouldn't have that strong of a feeling, and yet it's just maybe it's because it's still a spillover from the year prior. So when you do that, when you have that spillover, it's more of the same. So why would I feel any different if it's more of the same in particular? Because it's not like they're failing in different ways. They're failing in the same ways. We passed on Shador Sanders, says Patty Barnett, to draft Graham Merst. Patty, are you suggesting that Shador Sanders should be on this team? That would be absolutely horrendous. He is a very, very bad quarterback. Like, very bad. I don't know that he even makes the damn Browns. I don't know that he's in the league in the next 3 years. Now, he is a marketing gift, but he's not going to play. I mean, he's bad. He's very bad, Patty. I assume you're joking. I hope you're joking. I froze. I unfroze. I would like you to follow up with a comment. Jason, best decision Texans ever made was not drafting Sanders. I don't know if it's the best they've ever made, but it's definitely like an elite decision to not do it. Greg Bailey on ABC 13. Greg's the man. Just a great dude. So they're showing highlights. I forgot I had to watch the game tonight on broadcast television, so I couldn't rewind everything like over the air, like via HD antenna. It's a great catch by Jared Wayne. Shador Sanders is not going to be the starter for the Browns. He was not named the starter. And by the way, his competition is horrendous with Deshaun Watson. But Deshaun Watson's the starter. Petty, are you telling me that you think Shador Sanders is good? Clamus, got to hit the sack. Early work day tomorrow. God bless, brother. Remember this, the offense can only go from here. Gosh, famous last words. Appreciate you and God bless you too, my man. Thank you, Clamus, as always, of being a supporter of Kicking It with Kunkel. You are the man. God bless, dude. Sleep tight. Patty, why do you think Shador Sanders is a good quarterback? Because he wasn't very good in college. He was electrifying and fun to watch in highlight reel, for sure. He's not a good quarterback, though. This is kind of just obvious. I'm confused. Night, guys. Thanks, Will. Jason Wagner. Nighty night. Derek, yes, I do. You don't have a pass with. I just didn't go tonight. I was with my kid and I was with my wife, and the night games don't behoove a huge turnout from a standpoint of content. So what happens is, like, they probably just are getting out of locker room and it's 10:30 and try to rush it all and you put all the content online. I wouldn't get home for another half hour, try to go live by 11 o'clock. See, like, people are already going Betty buys and just trying to get the content up late versus, Texans always kick off at noon. All that content I can get up and ready to roll, and I'll be live by 5 o'clock. I can go live by whatever time afterwards. So that's why. Yeah. I got full credentials, baby. Full credentials, dog. Which reminds me, I have to pick them up. Mark says, my take after tonight, don't panic about Kaylee yet. Don't panic yet, but he does have a year of proven ineptness, so there's that. This particular game wasn't a fair test of him because Stroud and most starters were sitting. How did Mike McDaniel look as offensive coordinator? Because Herbert and most of their starters were sitting. But if the first team offense looks like what we saw from the backups tonight, once the regular season starts, then I'd absolutely start questioning Haley. So we have a full season to question Haley. We have all training camp to question Haley. We have tonight to question Kaylee, not Haley. Kaylee. McDaniel look good? Yeah. So yeah, the Nick Kaylee questioning starts, and it continues. Ariante Ursu is at left tackle, Wyatt Teller left guard, Rutledge center, Ed Ingram right guard, and Braden Smith at right tackle. Who just asked that? Senor Larry. All right. I appreciate y'all. Not a good night for the Texans. They got the Raiders next. I'd like to see the starters. I think the starters need to play offensively. I don't need to see a bunch defensively. Whatever game D'Amico wants to play as defensive guys, so be it. I don't care. Just stay healthy and do your thing for the be ready to roll for the regular season, because the season rests on this defense's shoulders. But we got to see more of this offense. The starters, like, what are they, not ready? Starters played all over the league tonight. It's frustrating because it's like your emotions and your heart and your mind just get thrown right back into last year's issues, and you're dealing with it again. All right, reminder, me and DJ BNMA of ESPN will be on hosting ESPN Radio nationally Sunday night, 9 p.m. to midnight. Call in, chime in, text in, whatever. 1-877-SAY-ESPN is the number. Sirius XM 80, ESPN app, and ESPNradio.com. We will be on Sunday, 9 to midnight. I'm filling in actually every Sunday this month on ESPN Radio. It's been a blast. I love it. Appreciate you guys. If you haven't already, subscribe to Kicking It with Kunkel. Hit up the super chat on YouTube. Like the video on YouTube. Oh, I had a new closing video. Someone told me that my closing video, the outro that I use, is used by like everybody and their mother, is what they said. And I've never seen it. So I want to see if I can. Where's that outro that I had? It's not that one. Oh, where is it? Oh, it won't let me import it. Oh, that's a stinker. Or was it the under? Huh. I had a new one. I used it somewhere. Oh, I used it after one of the interviews on my channel. By the way, I got Naquan Jones, Reed Blankenship, and Blake Fisher as part of my interviews on Kicking With Kunkel on my page. All like good 10, 12-minute interviews. I suggest you guys go look at them. Watch them all. Like them. Spread the word. Share. And hype the videos. That's a new thing. All right. That's going to do it for tonight. I appreciate y'all. Peace. Okay. I'm going to hit the right button this time. Oh, wait. We have another comment. I'll read it all. Good night, everyone. Keep them heads up. We can't let the crown slip. Respect, Senor Larry. Respect. I want to see if I can find this video, though, before I go. That's not what I want. Damn it. All right. I appreciate y'all. H is up. H-Town.